Hi everybody, I'm Mindy Barnett and welcome to the Envy and Associates Public Relations newsletter. This month, April, is Autism Awareness Month and we are highlighting our amazing nonprofit Durand. They were featured on PHL 17 earlier this month talking about all things autism, and we also want to bring attention to the fact that they are having their first annual prom gala, which is May 4th in Southern New Jersey. There's information at the bottom of this page, and I'm honored to say that I am the prom queen, so I hope to see all of you in the Philly region there. Without further ado, take a look at this cool placement we got for them.
April is Autism Awareness Month, and with growing resources in education, many parents may be wondering, should I have my child assessed for autism? Here to explain is behavior analyst Larissa Horodisky from Durand. Larissa, thank you so much for being here this morning.
Thank you for having me.
So such an important topic as we are in
Absolutely.
April now. Let's talk about autism and how it impacts children.
Okay. Autism is a pervasive developmental disorder. It really takes social precedence over the individual's functioning. Language, cognition can also be affected.
Okay, and a lot of the times autism can go undiagnosed. Why is that?
So I actually recently heard a stat that 1 in 4 teenagers go undiagnosed,
Wow.
which shocked me because I think this day and age, there is so much more autism awareness, so much more education. I delved a little bit deeper and it makes sense. In 2013, the DSM, the diagnostic criterion, was kind of altered a little bit. So you always hear that autism is a kind of spectrum disorder, so there's like a true gradient. So those that have been most affected are that higher functioning. What used to be Asperger's syndrome or pervasive developmental disorder, not otherwise specified. So they had some characteristics of autism-like tendencies, but not enough for the full diagnosis.
Okay.
So they're higher functioning. They could be academically, cognitively on point or even above, but their social skills, social deficits are really prominent. So that can impact kind of functioning across the board. So those are the individuals that aren't getting as many services. Also, gender, girls typically are not diagnosed as much as boys because they can kind of mask symptoms a little bit more. They can tend to be quieter. They're not having they're regulating their emotions better, so they're not having as explosive outbursts. And they can kind of be savvy and learn some social cues and nuances a little bit better. Socioeconomic and availability to healthcare can also impact that diagnosis and getting those services.
Okay, so what are some signs that parents should look out for when we're talking about autism?
Sure. So, I mean, typically diagnosis comes from infancy to age 3. So there are kind of key points to look for at each kind of developmental level. So in infancy, definitely poor or lack of eye contact, not responding to their name, attachment issues with their caregivers, either very, very clingy or just distant. Babbling can either be late or limited totally. As we move into toddlerhood, you're seeing that more explosive behavior, potentially the inability to regulate their emotions. A lot of kind of play-based skills are key at that point. So they're either not engaging in any of that imaginative play or they're being very repetitive. So they're lining things up. They're not using toys for the function that they should typically. With that also, speech is delayed. There could be no speech, limited speech along those lines. As you move into the kind of school-aged years, here's where we see that academic and that cognitive deficits come into play a little bit. They could be struggling with school, with kind of getting those routines down. Obviously, peer interactions can be challenging at this point in time. Either they're not interested in their peers or they're having those difficulties kind of relating. A lot of individuals on the spectrum have hyper-focused interests. So say trains or weather, whereas neurotypical kids aren't going to want to talk about that all the time. They get in these set routines, and like it's almost scripts that they talk about. So
lots of different signs that you can look out for. And you have a fundraiser that is upcoming, so tell me a little bit about that.
Sure. I work for Durand Inc. We are an organization that services individuals with special needs, mainly autism spectrum disorders. So we have a school where I work at, and we also have adult group homes, day programs, and they are running a prom. It's open to the public. It's a fundraiser to kind of continuing servicing our individuals. So there's a DJ.
Yeah,
it's
we
truly
see all the details.
a night to remember. So you can do your part. It's open to the public. Come on out and support autism.
Awesome. And if people want more information about Durand, or they're looking to get involved with the prom, where can they do that?
Sure, you can go to our website, www.durand.org.
Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me.